friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to continue the next point of this topic, that's a nervous tissue. So let's see the characteristic features of the nervous tissue. So this nervous tissue, it is composed of the nerve cell and the neurons and the neuralgia. So what is this neuralgial cell? It is the non-neural cell. These cells are the non-neural cell in the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system that do not produce the electric impulses. They provide the support and protection from the neurons. The neurons. So what is this neuron? It is also says as the nerve cell. This neuron, it's a structural. These are the fundamental unit of brain and the neuron system. This neuron, it is a structural and the functional unit of nervous system. Neuralgial cell are the non-nervous supporting cell that fill in the interneuronal space. The neuralgial cell are capable of regeneration and the division, but the neuron are not capable of regeneration because there is the absence of the centriole. The intercellular matrix is absent in the neural tissues. Neuron. The neuron is an impulse generating and the impulse conducting unit. This is a very important part. That is a neuron. It is an impulse generating. It's having the ability to generate the impulses as well as it's having the ability to conduct the impulses. They bring about the quick communication within the body. The neuron change the action potential of their membrane on receiving any external stimulus. This property of neuron, it is called as the excitability. They also carry a wave of electric impulses from the dendrons to axon. The process of neuron, this is called as the conductivity. Means the nerve tissue, it performs the two functions, that is the excitability and the conductivity. So let's see the next one. So what's the structure of the neuron? The neuron, it is basically consists of the two parts. First one, it says as the cyton. It is also called as the cell body. And the second one, it is the cytoplasmic processes, that is called as the extension. So what's this cyton? Cyton, it contains the granular cytoplasm. That granular cytoplasm which is present in the cyton, that granular cytoplasm, it is called as the neuroplasm. Centrally, there is a presence of the nucleus. The neuroplasm means the cytoplasm which is present in the cyton. It contains mitochondria. There is a presence of Golgi apparatus, rough endoplasmic reticulum, and the granules are called as the Nessels granule. They also shows the presence of the RNA. They are made up of RNA. The cell body gives out the two type of processes. The first, that is this cell body, it gives the two type of the processes. First one, it is says as the dendron, and the second one, it says as the axon. The first one is dendron and the second one is axon. So what's this dendron? This dendron are the short, you can see here. So this is says as the dendrons. This part it says as the dendron and this lower part it says as the axon. The dendron, this dendron are the short. It's a short. It's a branch. You can see here there is a presence of branched processes. The fine branches of the dendron, it is called as the dendrite. It called as dendrite. They carry impulses towards the cytons. Means the impulses which is transfers towards the dendrite, dendrite towards the dendron, and dendrons towards the cell body means the cyton. The second cytoplasmic processes, that is known as the axon. So what's this axon? This axon, So this part it says as the axon. As an axon, it is a single, elongated, cylindrical processes. Axon, it is bound by the axolemma. The protoplasm of the axon, it is called as the exoplasm. They contains a large number of mitochondria and the neurofibrils. Inside it, there is a presence of the large number of mitochondria and the neurofibrils is here. The axon is enclosed in a fatty sheath. That fatty sheath, it is called as the myelin sheath. This is covering, it is called as the myelin sheath. The outer covering of myelin sheath, it is called as the neurolemma. What is called? It called as the neurolemma. The myelin sheath and the neurolemma are the part of another cell called as the Schwann cell. So this is says as the Schwann cell. The Schwann cell shows the nucleus. It shows the presence of nucleus. You can see here there is a presence of the nucleus at the periphery. The myelin sheath, it is absent at interval. So you can see here there is absence of the myelin sheath at the interval along the axon, and the place it called as a node of Ranvier. It called as a node of Ranvier. The terminal herborization of an axon, it is called as the telodendron. So this terminal part it called as the telodendron. What is called? It called as the telodendron. The next one, based on their functions, the neuron, it is classified. What's the one? It is based on the function. The neuron, it is classified it into the three types. First one is afferent neuron, second one is efferent neuron, and the third one it's the interneuron, that is also called as the association neuron. So what is the afferent neuron? The afferent neuron, it carries the impulses. You know, it carries the impulses from the sense organ. It carries. So you can see here, this says as the dendrites, dendrite towards the dendron, dendron towards the cell body, towards the axon. So this one is dendrite, dendron, cell bodies and the axon. That is the afferent neuron. It carries the impulses. So this one is the says as the sense organ. It says as the sense organ. The dendrite, it carries the impulses from the sense organ to central nervous system. Where it's a transfer, it is transfers towards the central nervous system. Hence, it is also called as the sensory neuron. It is found in the dorsal root of the spinal cord. The second type of the neuron, it says as the efferent neuron. It says as the efferent neuron. So what's this efferent neuron? It carries the impulses from the CNS. Means, so this is says as the efferent neuron. This part, okay. As this efferent neuron, it carries the impulses. Means it takes the impulses from which part? It takes the impulses from the CNS. CNS, what's the CNS? CNS, it says as the central nervous system, which is consist of the brain and the spinal cord. Means the afferent neuron, it carries the impulses from the CNS towards the effector organ. So here there is a presence of the effector organ. Hence, it is also called as the motor neuron, that is the muscles is here. It is found in the ventral root of the spinal cord. The third type, it is called as the interneuron, or it is also called as the associated neuron. So what is this associated neuron? This associated neuron, so this middle neuron, it says as the associated neuron. This associated neuron, it is located between the sensory neuron and the motor neuron. This perform the processing, integration and the of the sensory impulses and activates the appropriate motor neuron to generate the motor impulses. Okay, the next part we see that depending on the presence or absence of myelin sheath. So this is said as the myelin sheath. Depending on the presence or absence of myelin sheath, the neuron are classified it into two types. First one, it says as the myelinated neuron, and the second it says as the non-myelinated neuron. So what is this two type? Let's see. The myelinated, it is also called as the medullated neuron. This medullated neuron, it's have a insulating fatty layer. There is a presence of insulating fatty layer. That layer, it is called as the myelin sheath. It is called? It called as the myelin sheath. Around this myelin sheath, it is present around to the axon. So this part it says as the axon part. Around to the axon part, there is a presence of the myelin sheath. This makes the fiber appears white in color. This sheath, it is secreted by the Schwann cell, which is secreted by the Schwann cell. The sheath is not continuous. It is interrupted in the middle. It is interrupted, and that interrupted part, it says as a node of Ranvier. What is called? It says as a node of Ranvier. The neurolemma, so this covering, it called as a neurolemma. Neurolemma, it surrounds the axon. The impulses is conducted at the faster rate in such a neuron fiber because it jumps from one node to the next node. Such a transmission of impulses, it is called as the saltatory conduction. The myelin sheath, it is prevent the loss of impulses during the conduction. Next one is the cranial nerves of vertebrates are myelinated. The cranial nerves of the vertebrates are the myelinated. But in some way, the Schwann cell, it's of a non-medullated nerve fiber, does not show the presence of the myelin sheath. These fibers are the grey in color due to the absence of the fatty layer. The conduction of impulses in a non-myelinated fibers, it is slow as compared to the myelinated nerve fibers. The nerve of autonomous nervous system are non-myelinated. The nerves of autonomous nervous system are non-myelinated, and the cranial nerves of a vertebrate are the myelinated. This is a very important part in the myelinated and the non-myelinated nerve fiber. Functional contact between the axonal end and the dendrites of the adjacent neuron. The space which is present between the adjacent two neurons, that is the dendrites and the telodendron. That space, it is called as the synapsis. It called as the synapsis. So let's see the difference between the myelinated and the non-myelinated axons. The transmission of nerve impulses is faster, and here the transmission of nerve impulses is slower. Myelinated axon has a myelin sheath, but here there is an absence of the myelin sheath. Node of Ranvier, it is present, but here the node of Ranvier is absent. It is found in the brain, spinal cord and the cranial and the spinal nerves. But non-myelinated axons, that is non-myelinated nerve, it is found in autonomous nervous system and the somatic nerve system, somatic neural system. The Schwann cell are observed inside the myelin sheath, but the Schwann cell are not observed inside the myelin sheath. Next one, based on the number of processes given out from the cyton, neurons are classified it into again the three types. Means on the basis of the function, it's of the three types: afferent neuron, efferent neuron and the associated neuron. On the basis of presence or absence of myelin sheath, it's of the two types. First one is a myelinated and the second one is a non-myelinated, and the third one is based on the number of processes It's of the three type again. The first one is a unipolar, second one is a bipolar, and the third one is a multipolar. So what is the first of all unipolar? The unipolar, it is also called as a monopolar neuron. It also says as a monopolar neuron. It is a single process originating from the cyton. There is a origination of the single processes from the cyton. Both the axon and the dendron arise from cyton at a one point. At a one point, cyton and the axon are arise from at a one point. That is called as the unipolar or the monopolar neuron. They conduct impulses to central nervous system. For example, neuron of a dorsal root ganglion of the spinal cord. Second one is a bipolar neuron. It has the two processes. It has the two processes. A single dendron and axon. A single one is a dendron and the second one is a axon. Are give out the opposite pole. You can see it's present towards the opposite pole of the cyton. So this middle part it says as the cyton. One side its axon is there and the another side it's a dendron is here. They bring about the transmission of the spatial sense like the sight, smell, taste, hearing. The neuron of the retina of eye, olfactory epithelial. In this region, there is a presence of the bipolar neuron. The third type, it's a multipolar neuron. The cyton, it's a star shape. Got it? The cyton, it's a star shape and gives out the more than two processes. There is a presence of more than two processes. There is only one axon is here. You can see this is only one axon is there. And remaining it says as the dendrons. The remaining it says as the dendron. Axon initiates from a funnel shaped area called as the axon hillock. Hope so you understood it. Thanks for watching my video. Stay tuned to my channel. Thank you.